Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into day 5 of our wealth building curriculum. We're tearing down this whole idea of fake wealth and figuring out exactly how to escape that illusion. Let's get right into it. Okay, so picture this. A gorgeous luxury sports car blows past you on the highway. Or maybe someone walks into the room dripping in expensive jewelry. Automatically, you kind of assume, wow, they must be loaded, right? Well, hold on to that thought, because we're about to completely shatter that assumption. Morgan Housel has this brilliant take on this. He points out that we have this whole wealth thing totally backward. We judge it by looking at what people spend, rather than what they actually own. Think about it like this. When you see someone driving a $100,000 car, literally the only completely factual data point you have about their finances is that they have 100 grand less in the bank than they did before they bought it. Crazy, right? And that brings us to a super important distinction, being rich versus being wealthy. See, being rich is all about current income. It's the cash flowing in today that lets you buy the flashy stuff, it's loud, and it absolutely demands attention. But wealth, true wealth, is quiet. It's the unspent money, the invisible investment accounts, the car upgrades you completely ignored. Wealth doesn't want attention. Wealth wants freedom. Let's actually look at how this trap plays out in a real world. Take earner A. They're pulling in a massive 100 grand a year, but they're burning through 95,000 of it just to maintain this really impressive, highly visible lifestyle. Then you've got earner B, making only 50 grand, living super modestly, but quietly socking away 20 grand a year. Earner A looks incredibly rich on the outside, but man, they are chained to that next paycheck. Meanwhile, earner B looks totally ordinary, but behind the scenes, they're building an absolute fortress of time and security. So let's take this a step further. Imagine if both of these people lost their jobs tomorrow. Who's the one who's truly wealthy, who actually owns their choices? Earner A is going to be in an absolute total panic within a matter of weeks. But earner B, they've got the invaluable option to just wait, to breathe, and figure out their next move without any desperation. Basically, they use their invisible wealth to buy themselves options. Okay, moving on, because acquiring the money is honestly just half the battle. Getting rich is, well, relatively speaking, easy. Staying rich? That's a completely different ballgame. And here's the really wild part. The exact same mindset you use to acquire money can literally be the exact same mindset that destroys it once you have it. Think about it. Getting rich usually means you got to take some risks, right? You need this extreme optimism and totally blind belief in your bold ideas. But staying rich requires the complete opposite of that. Lasting wealth is built on humility, massive amounts of patience, and, honestly, a slightly paranoid dedication to just surviving and avoiding catastrophic mistakes. You can see this incredibly clearly in practice. Let's look at investor A. They hit a massive 50% return. Their ego inflates big time, so they take even wilder risks to chase that high. And eventually, boom, crash and burn. Then there's investor B. They accept a boring, steady 10% return. They completely ignore the urge to show off. They survive the inevitable market dips, and they just let compounding do its magic. The difference between absolute ruin and financial independence here wasn't intelligence. It was literally just the ability to check your ego at the door. Now look, true wealth isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. It's also about focus and how you spend your time. Which brings us to this super dangerous myth that's probably secretly draining your potential right now, the illusion of progress. Somehow, we've convinced ourselves that just being in constant motion is exactly the same thing as making real progress. But guys, being busy is secretly keeping you broke. There is a massive, massive difference between being busy and actually being productive. Busy is playing whack-a-mole with your inbox, clearing out notifications, jumping from one pointless meeting to the next. Productive is actually closing your door and focusing deeply on a really difficult, meaningful task. A lot of modern busyness is actually just a psychological escape hatch. It's a super convenient way for us to avoid the discomfort of doing real, valuable work. And there's a hidden cost to all that busyness. It's called attention residue. This is basically the cognitive penalty your brain pays when you switch from deep, focused work to just quickly check a seemingly harmless message. Every single time you give into that distraction, a tiny part of your brain stays trapped on that last notification. It totally fractures your focus and severely cripples your ability to solve complex problems. Cal Newport hits the nail right on the head when he talks about this. He points out that in our incredibly noisy, distracted world, the very few people who can actually sit down and master uninterrupted concentration,
they gain an absolute unfair advantage over everyone else. Make no mistake, deep work is the ultimate currency of the modern economy, and almost nobody is actually doing it.
So why is deep work so incredibly hard for us? Well, getting wealthy and doing deep work both run face first into one universal hurdle, our own ancient biology. We are literally hardwired to constantly seek out comfort and avoid anything challenging. Your brain just wants to conserve energy. It wants the easy path. But choosing that comfort comes with a pretty devastating price tag.
It really boils down to comfort versus growth. Sure, comfort protects your energy in the short term, but man, it makes your mind incredibly fragile. You're basically training yourself to just give up the second things get hard. Growth, on the other hand, requires intense pressure. Think of a blacksmith hammering glowing steel in a blistering fire to strengthen it. Your character, your actual capabilities, they are only forged when you deliberately choose to make uncomfortable decisions.
I love this saying, comfort is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Think about that for a second. Every single time you hit snooze, or skip the hard workout, or buy something flashy just so you look successful to strangers, you are making a devastating trade. You are prioritizing the fleeting ease of today right over the enduring freedom of tomorrow.
Okay, so how do we actually apply all of this to our real daily lives? We've deconstructed the myths, but just understanding it isn't enough, right? We need action. So we've pulled together a couple of concrete physical challenges designed to break you out of these illusions so you can start buying back your future freedom, starting literally right now.
First up, we're tackling the illusion of busyness with the Deep Work Challenge. Step 1, take your phone and put it in a completely different room. Seriously. Step 2, turn off literally every notification on your computer. Step 3, set a timer for 90 minutes of pure, uninterrupted focus on your most important task. Force yourself to sit through the boredom and just execute. You'll be amazed at what your mind is truly capable of when it isn't constantly fractured. Next, we've got the ego detox. This one goes straight after that trap of fake wealth. Step 1, pull up your bank statements and review your last 30 days of spending. Step 2, be brutally honest with yourself and identify just one expense that was driven purely by status, something you bought for approval, not actual value. Step 3, cut it out entirely. Take that exact amount of money and redirect it straight into your investments. Stop feeding your ego and start feeding your freedom.
And this brings us to the ultimate goal we should all be striving for, the 10% rule. Automate at least 10% of your income straight into an invisible savings or investment account before you even get a chance to see it. If 10% is way too high right now, honestly, just start with whatever you can. The point is to pay your future self first. Let consistency do all the heavy lifting that willpower just can't handle. I really want to leave you with this powerful reminder from Morgan Housel. Wealth is what you don't see. Every single dollar you don't spend today, every impulse purchase you manage to resist, and every distraction you successfully ignore, that is a brick in the solid foundation of your future freedom. The wealth nobody sees today is exactly the thing that buys the freedom everyone will wish they had tomorrow. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself a genuinely tough question. Are you sacrificing